Not even sure if this angle works. Maranje umsindo emagcekeni inyoni. Izinja makati. It's just noise, and it's like it's too early in the morning for this. Welcome to another episode of What in the South is going on here. And when I tell you that it's been a couple of weeks, my boy, it's been a couple of weeks, and we're honestly not going to delve in deep as to why I hadn't been dropping these episodes or anything for that matter. Cause in gym, guningi, there's like a lot, but there's nothing to. It's like work just gets crazy, and then I'm just a tired girl, and in the same breath I'm trying to live life, and I'm just doing my best. But anyway, anywho, we're back. We are back like umqolo. Hope cut it out. I am back, and I'm just going to give a roundup of the 2 weeks because we don't have time to going past 2 weeks because these past 2 weeks have been crazy. But I'm here to give you the lowdown on it in case you didn't know what's going on in your own country. But anyway, anywho, let's get into it. First up, I definitely have to. I just have to, because as a country we are united in rugby, and the Springboks won last night's game. Okay, it was actually Saturday's game. I'm recording this on a Monday. So the Springboks won last night's game and the previous week's game. And when I tell you, go to Bogo tense. And my only concern was, as South Africans, we talk. We're just such a nonsensical nation that if the Springboks had lost the games, my boy, besizotini ebantwini, because what about Istima second? Please, after all the jokes that were flying on Twitter, on TikTok, my goodness, South Africans. No. If you are not a social media kind of person, all I say is that after, or even the day after a South African game and the Springboks win, do yourself a favor and go on Twitter or TikTok and have yourself a blast, because South Africans are really funny. But yeah, Springboks won, which was a good time. It's good to see how happy our country is and so united. These dogs have been added, my boy. Let's respect each other. But yeah, and it's just so fun and so nice to see our country just united, all in the name of rugby. I've never watched a single game of rugby in my life, but you know what? In the spirit, I'm also in there. I'm in there. And I felt a bit of FOMO. I'm I actually need a Springboks t-shirt before the finale on Saturday, because I have to be in the spirit, But yeah, so fun times, really a great time to be South African and to be a supporter of the Springboks. But anyway, anywho, we're going to move past that, and we're going to talk about So last week, there was a whole craze going on about this fake doctor. So this guy, and actually I had been seeing him on my FYP for probably a year now and stuff like that. And he was always hi, I'm Dr. Lani. And he's giving people medical advice. He even sells pills, only to find it. Not a real doctor, this one. Okay, I mean, as things still stand right now, Wits has come out, because he said that he studied at Wits, and Wits is my boy, we don't know you. Asikwazi ungasifaki. And then the health department also made a statement my boy, asikwazi yikela ukusifaka. But what's crazy is that this doctor is always making, supposed doctor, alleged doctor, is always making statements, not statements, but is always making videos. And he has even videos in a hospital wearing a stethoscope. And my thing is, how do you gain access like that? Like, are we so careless within our public hospitals that anyone can come in with a stethoscope and some scrubs and they are not questioned? Like, and yeah, sure, there are people that he gave medical advice to and it supposedly, allegedly helped. But my thing is how, like, the audacity to just wake up and be like, you know what, I don't have 7-8 years to spare, so I'm just gonna wake up and be a doctor. Call me Dr. Matthew Lani. And ever since then, so many, like, he has said so many things. He's coming out and saying that actually Dr. Matthew is a pseudo name, and then he's like, actually that's not even my government name. He's showing us like snippets of messages between him and the supposed government personnel that he's speaking to clear up all this. And it's like, my boy, cut it out. Like, cut it out. Yeah, sure, the first week we were so focused on you and your ridiculousness, but now it's like a collab. We are focused on the box. Our focus, priority, Springboks. So really, you can just shut down your social media pages, disappear for a couple of months, come back completely new person, get a wig, put on makeup, and we would have forgotten about you. But he's doing too much. He's doing too much. What surprised me in all of this is just the audacity. Because, like, couldn't you fake a different profession? Like be a coach, specialist in, I don't know. Something that is not so easily traceable, where there is like a whole system, what is it called, a database where we can look at you and check you out and want your license number and all of those things. So find a different profession, my boy. Find a different profession. But anyway, we're over that now. This Lani human being just needs to get arrested. He needs to face the law, because that is just completely ridiculous. And thankfully, at least as of now, it hasn't come to any point where someone has died or someone has incurred some sort of, I don't know, sickness. Now we're going to move on to the next thing, which is my favorite thing to talk about, which is the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. So I believe it was mid-September, when we went into court recess for about 2 weeks. We did go into court recess earlier than anticipated because of Zungu man's testimony that wasn't furnished to the advocates, so they needed time to go into that. But we were getting closer to court recess, so it only made sense that we just go into recess, and we'll be back about 2 weeks later. But yeah, we're back in court on the 1st of October, I believe, or the 2nd, beginning of October. And there was a public outcry for like the judge's involvement in the court proceedings and the cross-examination. And my take on that is that, okay, so I went from not really understanding the judge to sort of having like a liking to him. But then closer towards the court recess, I felt like there was going to be an application from the advocates for the recusal of the judge, simply because of his involvement, which made it seem like he already had like a guilty verdict before we've even reached the end of the trial. And the judge's involvement seemed to be prejudicial to the accused. Prejudicial? Like, there was just prejudice for the accused. But we are back in court, and so the last time, I believe it was the Zungu man. I only say Zungu man because I listened to the Lilo podcast, and she refers to him as the Zungu man. But yeah, that guy's statement was very shaky because he sat on evidence for about 2 years and said nothing. And we're not talking about some layman citizen here. He's a police officer. So the whole argument was that you've really just sat on evidence for 2 years, and your defense is that you feared for your life and for your family's life. Because what his statement is saying is that he's connecting all 5 of the accused to being at the hostel on the day of Senzo Meyiwa's murder, and he's giving testimony of the fact that he might have potentially seen the gun that killed Senzo Meyiwa. And he's saying that 2 of the people that were said to have done the actual killing, so the actual murder, he saw them come back around the same timeline that is given to us as the time that the robbery happened, right? So he was giving like damning evidence at this point, but his testimony has been put on pause because I believe that the advocates need to go through his testimony because they were not furnished with the testimony prior to being in court. Also, there's like different versions of this testimony. There's like incorrect things that need to be corrected and all of that stuff. So currently he stands down until he needs to be cross-examined when the advocates are ready. Right now we have Miss or Mrs. Cronia on the witness stand, and she is the magistrate that took the alleged confession from one of the accused, which is, I'm not sure what number he is, but he's in Danzi. And it's going down. So there was arguments being brought forward last week about the admissibility of the audio recording of this confession. So Ms. Cronia recorded this confession, and she's saying that she recorded it out of the interest of protecting herself. So this means that Ndanzi was not aware that he was being recorded when giving this confession. The crazy thing about this confession is that his representative is saying that he was harassed and beaten for days into giving this confession. So it was not out of his own doing, but he was forced to give this confession. And Ms. Cronia basically gives evidence saying that he didn't look like someone that was beaten or someone that didn't want to give this confession. But now the representative of Ndanzi is saying the mere fact that you introduced yourself as a magistrate already should have given you the idea that he almost like for someone who has been harassed and basically bitten into giving this confession, when you meet someone and they introduce themselves as a magistrate, it's like you understand how big and intense this trial is, that just the mere fact of you saying that to him already makes him feel tense, and he does not know if you're part of the people that were involved or are involved in beating him and forcing this confession out of him. So yeah, that's the whole thing about this current witness. And yeah, so there was arguments being brought forth about the admissibility of the audio recording, and the presiding judge ruled that it is inadmissible. So what that means is that it won't stand in court as part of the evidence, and it's not been accepted as part of the exhibits. So right now, the only thing that stands before a court is the written statement. So yeah, and that's what the witness Ms. Cronia is being cross-examined on. But yeah, we're currently on that. There's been so many delays with this trial, but I think that every part of it has been very necessary, but I'm hoping we can keep things moving because we're nowhere close to the end, but let's keep things moving. But yeah, that's mostly about it from my end. Anywho, thank you so much for getting this far into this video. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel of conversations about everything and anything. And if you are a returning subscriber, you already know this. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, share to your friends and family, and their friends and their family, and their friends and their family. See you in my next episode. Bye.